Now, let's listen in to a police news conference in.
We've had a significant catastrophic explosion of a residence on this street with damage to adjacent homes and structures. We're continuing to completely put out the fire and mitigate that. We're still working with Winnipeg Police to identify the potential location occupants of the home of origin.
Any word on any injuries right now?
We have no report of injuries in any of the surrounding structures. Again, we are still trying to ascertain the location of the occupants of the home that was involved in the explosion.
So it was only one residence that was part of the explosion, or?
It appears that one residence was involved in an explosion, catastrophic damage to that home, and we had significant fire and structural damage to adjoining structures.
And so right now, are you saying you don't know if people were home or not in that home?
We are still trying to ascertain if people were home at that time. We're working with the Winnipeg Police Service to try and ascertain that. It's difficult to tell at this time.
Any indication on what might have caused the explosion?
We are way too early at this time to ascertain what that would be. There is, obviously it was a catastrophic explosion, so we're going to be having to wait and go through the investigation process.
Was there any construction or anything going on in the area?
I'm not aware of any at this time, but again, that's what we're working with the police and our investigators on right now.
This might be too early too, but there's a Shell station near the house. Would that be something that could have been related?
I really don't know at this point. It would seem that this is related to the residential area specifically at this point. So we don't have any risk to the community beyond this that we're aware of at this time.
Approximately how many neighbors or other residents were evacuated from the neighborhood?
We haven't evacuated too many people. There was people evacuated from some nearby homes, but otherwise we've managed to shelter in place a number of them. There are a few homes that will not be occupiable at the end of this, and we'll work with those residents on any required support services.
Of the other homes that were damaged, was anybody home in those homes?
There was some minor damage to some homes on the surrounding homes that people were home and evacuated from, but there was no inhabitants of the homes with the most significant damage.
At what time was WFPS made aware of the explosion event today?
I don't have the exact dispatch time in front of me, unfortunately.
11:19.
11:19.
Do you have a number of how many homes were affected in terms of ones that were damaged?
We're still looking at it. There is potential structural damage quite significantly across the street, surrounding homes, and in behind with the garages and structures around the home of that had the explosion. So they're still investigating that, but there is a number of structures that are going to be significantly damaged.
And I take it this is not something that you folks were living in, an explosion in a residential neighborhood?
It's not common at all, obviously. So, I mean, we've had them before. We've had explosions like this in the past, every so often, but it's certainly not a common occurrence, no.
When you have had explosions like this, what have been some of the causes?
It varies greatly. It would be hard to comment at this time.
Can you name one or two?
No, not right now. Okay. Thanks, guys.
To Scott Wilkinson. He is a deputy chief with the Fire Rescue Operations and Training Division of the Winnipeg Fire Paramedic Service. He was giving us what the investigation knows now, which is very little, about what happened today. A house exploded in Transcona, a neighborhood in North Winnipeg. If you go to CBC Manitoba's YouTube page, you can see footage from the scene that our camera people are shooting. Completely flattened, nothing but boards. And you'll see flame on the neighboring home, which obviously caught fire. It seems to be startling that the homes so close to ground zero of this explosion are still standing. But as you heard Scott Wilkinson say, there is likely severe structural damage to other buildings in the area. We're going to be following the story for you, of course, today. Join us for our CBC newscasts every hour here on CBC Radio as well. You can follow us along. Breaking news. We'll update you with information as soon as it becomes available.